tired of screwing up, tired of going down, tired of myself, tired of this town.
Eminent Waste of Time, lucky episode 13. I'm Doug.
And I'm Chad.
And as promised, this is going to be our pre-Christmas show extravaganza. Okay, we can't use that one again. No. But we are going to
13 days of Christmas.
13. No. There's a 13th now?
I made it up.
All right.
You get to listen to the podcast on the 13th day. That's what we're doing.
Ah, perfect. That'll work. Well, we are going to do, as promised, some UTV-inspired gifts, and we got some other good stuff along the way as well, so we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. And
Doug has to use his phone because his computer's doing a massive update.
oh my word. Okay, yeah. So normally we record this thing to my laptop, and I dump the video to Chad, and I keep the audio, and I do some editing and some compression and some cleanup and some stuff like that. And then I give Chad a copy of the audio to sync up with the video, and everything's hunky-dory. Well, right before I leave work, my laptop has not been shut down in like a week. It says, hey, there's an update. So I think, okay, go ahead, do the update, shut it down. It makes me wait for 10 minutes before I can even leave work to do the update. So I think, okay, well, at least that's out of the way. I get here to Chad's place, open the laptop up, turn it back on, and it literally says, working on updates, 0%. Don't turn off your PC. This will take a while. That was easily, what time is it now? It's about 6:35. I showed up about 10 after. So that was like 20 minutes ago. It's at 23%.
Yeah.
Had we actually waited for this to finish, you would not have a podcast. We
Yeah.
would have just skipped it and told you guys tough crunchies.
So, anyway.
So I have
moving on.
to use my phone, and Chad's actually got the document up as well, but my eyes are too old to see that far away. So,
Well, let's start with, we'll wish everyone a Merry Christmas. We'll start that way because this will be coming out on Friday, just a few days before Christmas.
yes.
So, from Eminent Performance, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Absolutely. And we are going to take a break. Before I forget, we're going to take a break between Christmas and New Year's. There is, another recording session in theory in there, but we've got a lot on our plates, and we're going to give our Christmas gift to you as a break from us. How about that?
That's the gift that just keeps on giving, Clark.
They may tell. I need to watch that. I actually have that at the house, and I need to make that happen.
Oh, that is my favorite. For those of you that don't know what I just did, that is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. It is great. That is a guy at work sent me a remix of that, and it was like all auto-tuned, and it's called
nice.
It's called like a Christmas emergency remix or something, and it's all Clark's quotes and like auto-tuned into a song, and I was laughing. And
Okay, I need to go watch that now.
It was. Well, today is my last day of work for the year. I have enough vacation time that I just took the rest of the year off.
You notice how he looked over at me when he said that?
Sucker. No, we get a lot of time off where I work, and so it's been a mad push at work lately. So, yeah, my boss is like, go unplug. So I'm okay with that.
I think maybe it's TBS, A&E. I don't know. One of those channels is running National Lampoons, I think, like on a 24-hour loop. So in theory, you could just like an entire day just keep watching it end to end to end.
My wife does that with A Christmas Story, and that movie is good. I can't stand it anymore because
you've used up your lifetime worth of viewing.
Oh, she puts it on Christmas morning when she gets up, and every room she walks in, she turns it on every TV.
I know a lot of people that watch it solely because it was recorded in Indiana.
Yeah,
like that has any real bearing. I mean, it is a good movie, but the fact that it was done in Indiana is not really a particularly good reason to watch it.
So was Rudy, but
I saw that once. I'm not a Notre Dame fan, so that kind of sticks to my craw.
I'm not either. I was in that movie though.
You were?
I was.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah, I was. I don't know. Gosh, 14 or maybe 15 years old, something like that.
So there's this scene in Rudy where there's a kid in the background smashing car windows and lighting them on fire. That's Chad.
That was me. No. We lived at the time. We lived where Doug used to live, up near Notre Dame campus, and they had a newspaper ad out looking for extras. And in the scenes that we were in, where Rudy actually gets to play in the Notre Dame football game, there right at the end, and they like where his parents. They did the close up of his parents and all that in the stands. that was us extras. I got paid $100 or something. It was cold and it was miserable and it was
probably
so
the worst $100 you ever made.
Oh, it was horrible. And they were supposed to feed us and then they didn't have food and I was there for like 12 hours for $100. It was the worst pay I ever got. But whatever.
You know who else we know that was famous in a movie?
Who's that?
Kevin Stump, our mutual friend.
Yeah. What was he in?
His dad, Bill Stump. You remember the John Candy movie Only the Lonely?
No, but
you at least you remember the title.
Yeah.
Well, that was primarily shot up in Niles, Michigan, and you know the old the train station up there. The climax scene of the movie, I guess. Now I haven't seen it either, but the climax scene of that movie, it takes place in the old Niles train station there, and Bill Stump's in it.
Huh? I will have. Was he like a young man at the time?
Like.
He would be recognizable as I remember
He's probably
him.
about our age, maybe a little older, maybe like early 40s.
Okay, so he would be recognizable as what we remember him as.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go.
Anybody else out there listening, now that we've rambled for a few minutes about things that don't matter to you probably at all, do you know anyone who is in a movie? I mean, it's not that uncommon, really. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a superstar because of it. They had a newspaper ad out. Anyone who could read was basically qualified to be in this.
So who read it to you?
My mom.
Oh, okay.
No, but my sister went and a friend of hers and then her friend's sister, and we all went.
I was almost in one, like had a lead part.
Really?
It was a local production. Notre Dame has a kind of a minor film school. Like, obviously, you've never heard of like famous directors from there, but they have a film school. They were doing local auditions at the Century Center.
Yeah.
And they were looking for parts for this.
The Elephant Man?
Yes.
I'm sorry. You walked into it. I had to.
I gave you some. It was time. I was due.
Yep.
So they just had an ad out that they were looking for people for these roles down at the Century Center. And there's a lot of people there. I mean, there was hundreds of people that were lined up for this thing.
Tens of people.
And so I didn't know anything about it, but I had a friend in high school who she was kind of an aspiring stage actor or actress.
I was going to say, nowadays that's not uncommon.
Now I was going to
back
say,
then.
it could have gone either way. No, she was an aspiring actress and she ended up not doing that at all with her life and a very successful career elsewhere. But she told me about it and said she wanted me to come for moral support. And she's like, well, you can try out too.
You'll never get the part because you're not good looking and you don't have the acting skills like I do.
Something like that. Actually, I've got some decent acting chops, believe it or not.
Yeah, he's pretended to be my friend for years.
Pulled it off beautifully. And so we went down there and I read for the part and I get a phone call like a week after the thing and it's down to me and two other guys.
Huh.
So I go back in and I reread the lines and they give me some direction about how they want it done. And so I step into it and do it. And I don't hear anything for like another 2 weeks. So I just assume I didn't get the part, but there wasn't even like a gee, thanks for coming out type of thing, just nothing. So somebody dropped the ball somewhere. Now, during that time, I had decided I was not going to take the part because what I didn't realize is it was the same scene acted out like 3 or 4 different ways, and it was like a dispute between a guy and his girlfriend, and each time it escalated more. So it was roughly the same dialogue and everything, but by the time it got to the last one, they were like full on swearing at each other, dropping the F-bomb, and I didn't really want that to be associated with me. I mean, just not who I am and not how I normally talk. So I went along thinking no big deal. I didn't really want to do it anyways. I get a call like 3 weeks later and they said, well, we need you to be at such and such a location at, this time and we're going to get started filming. And I said, what are you talking about? They're like, well, you're so-and-so, whatever the guy's name was.
Yeah.
Like, no one ever told me that, and I can't take the part. So it totally freaked them out, and I think they ended up having to go with plan B. But I was pretty impressed. I beat out, no kidding, I think 50 or 60 guys that read for this part.
Okay, this Doug Southworth guy was going to be the lead person, now to be replaced by this cat.
Yeah, exactly. That could have been my claim to fame. That could have been the stepping stone to my Hollywood career and the end of my financial woes. But instead, I'm doing a podcast with you.
I've never seen anyone in Hollywood who's actually happy.
No.
There are very few.
I don't want that life. I don't want to be gone all the time. Anyways.
Now that we've wasted, 10 minutes of your all's time.
What's the name of the podcast?
Yeah, I know. You knew what you were signing up for, everybody.
We did not try and hide what this was going to be. So anyways, we'll start off like we normally do with Robert Higbee. We didn't make him mad this time by insulting vehicles he likes.
No.
So that's good. Actually, he didn't seem upset. He just wanted an honest dialogue.
Yep.
So.
And I think we gave it to him. So.
And I'm not ranting this time, so that's cool. Helmets. What do you like and what do you recommend for UTV riding?
Would you like to go first?
No, I would like you to go first.
Okay.
Because I'm going to drop an explosive super secret bomb on this one.
Okay. Helmets. I tend to like the motocross style helmets with an open face for UTV riding, unless it's cold, and then I prefer a closed style street motorcycle style like that.
You have a brand? I know what you like for motorcycles.
Brand is a tough one for me. I like a certain brand, and I tend to like Ion helmets. They seem to fit my head well. Now, what fits my head well may not fit your head well just because they're differently shaped.
It's like we talked last time about seats.
Yeah.
Or shoes. There's certain things you have to try on. You cannot to me, you can't mail order a helmet and just hope for the best.
No. Well, you can, but it's not going to be a good helmet. And my take has always been on helmets. Don't just get one that like is a helmet. Get a helmet that you like. You like the way it fits. You like the way it feels and everything else. Because if you get a helmet you like, you'll be more apt to wear it. Because if you get a helmet that's just a helmet, I don't feel like wearing it now or whatever.
I mean, even if that means you're going to spend $300 or $400, and in the motocross world, that's kind of hard to do because most of the helmets don't cost that much.
Oh, I've got a helmet in my den right now that I have over $1,000 in.
Yeah, but I'm talking like a motocross helmet.
No, not a motocross.
No, I'm saying motocross world.
Okay,
it's kind of hard to spend that kind of money. But in the motorcycle world, yes, you can spend a fortune. But if you need to go spend $500 on a helmet that you'll wear, then spend the $500 because if you cheap out, spend $120 and you hate it, you won't wear it.
Right. Also, I'm going to say fitment of a helmet is much more important than a lot of people give it credit for. And Doug knows when any safety equipment for me, tight, really stinking tight.
Headache inducing, eyeballs bulging tight.
And I will justify this by saying, so when you're in an accident in anything, I don't care if it's a car or off-road UTVs or anything, there's multiple impacts that take place. There's you hitting something or, falling off of something, your head hits the ground, we'll say. So your head hits the ground, and if you have a loose-fitting helmet, then, your helmet hits the ground, and then your head inside of the helmet hits inside, and that's another impact, which then your brain inside your skull is squishing around, and that's another impact inside there. So to take the one impact out of the loose helmet, you are going to be miles better. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, I don't want to wear a tight helmet all day." I've gotten used to it, but I'm a big proponent of a tight fitting helmet.
I think a lot of the people, honestly, that wear a loose fitting helmet have never been in a serious accident. I know I'm making a generalization, but you've been in numerous accidents.
There's hardly any drain damage.
Well, but anybody who actually rides something to its limit has been in an accident.
Oh, yeah. If you push anything, there's two types of people, those that have been in accidents and those that will be. I mean...
And I'm not even talking the ragged edge. If you ride to 80% of a vehicle's capacity, or even 75, 70%, I mean, most people don't ride within half of a vehicle's capacity. Yeah. So if you're up in that top 25%, you're going to wreck. It's not a question of if, and sometimes it's not your fault. One time, I remember one of your wrecks was a low side of your motorcycle because just dumb luck. It had happened to rain and drop some loose soil in a portion of the road that was normally clean and dry, and by the time you hit that curve, it was too late. You low-sided it.
It was done and just slid it out. Walked away fine. I mean, I was a little scraped up, but it wasn't really a big deal at that point. But I had leathers on, I had a helmet on and gloves on. Really my biggest concern when I stood up, because I felt fine, was did I punch a hole in my motorcycle case and I run all the oil out?
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, I can't start it and I'm out here kind of in the middle of nowhere. But anyway, we'll move back to what we were going for.
Yeah, so fitment is crucial, and I guess that the bomb I was going to drop on this is I don't care what brand it is whatsoever. I've had helmets that have been relatively expensive that I've not liked at all.
Yeah.
I've had cheap helmets that have fit very well, and I felt like would have protected me. I mean, as long as it's kind of hard because off-road helmets aren't DOT certified.
There are some that are.
There are, but by and large, you can have a really solid helmet that's not certified.
Correct.
Now, road helmets, if it's not DOT certified, I will not put it on my head. I
Yes.
mean, it has to meet that standard or I'm not comfortable with it. But that being said, like I said, it really has more to do with the style of riding I'm doing. Like you said, open face, style helmet. If it's, above say 40 degrees, that's my preference as well.
Yep.
But it really just comes down to whatever fits. And I think of all the helmets I've owned, I've never repeat bought a brand. Like I've never gone back and said, I like that last Fox, I'm buying another Fox. I've never done that.
Okay. Let's see, I have, but I've had fair amount of helmets in my days.
Yeah, you probably had more than me, but
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, for a street helmet, I tend to like Ions. Their Domain series is kind of the ones I like, but they're expensive. I mean, that's the one I got $1,000 in there, and it's not just in the helmet. It's got speakers in it, and it had a Bluetooth system at one point, and
But you told me flat out, I've got the money in this because I won't wear it otherwise.
Oh yeah, I used to be much, much worse about it. Even on the street, when I didn't have a helmet that I liked, I would not wear a helmet. And I'd ride all over the country. I put thousands upon thousands of miles on a bike without a helmet on. And then I finally was like, okay, I need to just get a helmet that I like. And when I did, I started wearing it. And I'm my own worst enemy on that one. So I can tell you that's true.
Good news, everybody. The laptop is finally rebooted. The updates are done.
And we're not caring. We're moving on.
No.
So.
I'm glad we didn't wait 15 minutes. That could have been like 3 hours.
Yep.
So I guess that was a long roundabout way of saying I'd get what fits you, get what's comfortable, get what you like for the style of riding you're doing. But the comfort in the fitment means more than brand or color scheme or anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Get what's going to work for you and that you will wear and can wear for more than 30 seconds. It's kind of hard sometimes in a store to try one on. Like, I'll walk around the store. I've done it before, have people look at me, but I'm like, I want to know, because sometimes within 5 minutes, you're like, man, there's that weird thing that hits you wrong.
But see, that's why I like some of the nicer brand helmets, because, like, I'll take the Ion, for example, because I know that it has this and so do many others. It has interchangeable pieces to it, like cheek pieces and jaw pieces, and
yeah, you can customize it.
You can make that helmet fit you really well. So if you get it and you're like, oh, that's just a little tighter or a little looser than I remember it being in the store, sometimes they come with it, sometimes you have to order it, and it's really not that expensive. It's like $10 for, we'll say, the cheek pieces. They're a little too loose and you need the slightly bigger ones. You can order those for like $10 and just snap them in, and then you have a better fitting helmet right then.
I'm going to burn my current helmet because I'm going to blame our horrible race season on that.
Okay.
And then I'll start with a new helmet next year and we're going to win.
Okay.
Okay, next one. Man, he really tossed you a softball here. What would be the first thing you would upgrade on a Can-Am X3?
It probably almost seems ridiculous to most people. I don't think there's a bunch that needs upgraded necessarily on it because it's a pretty built machine. But I will say probably the harnesses on it, because they have the automotive click style. And while no one has complained about them or anything else, in my experience, those get jammed with mud and sand over time because they have springs and everything else internal where it just sits in there. They get jammed up with mud and sand and everything else, and they just don't work well. I prefer the quick release latch system on a harness that's open, and they just work well all the time. There's nothing that can go wrong with them.
I can see that.
So that would be what I would upgrade.
My first would be lighting.
Like LED, like a light bar or something?
That thing moves fast enough that if the sun starts going down, mentally, yes, you could make yourself slow down, but
yeah.
I think a machine like that, you want some good light out in front of you.
I'll agree. That's a good one. I prefer the harness. The only reason I say the harness over that is that thing will save you daylight or dark. It doesn't matter. That's my justification. You don't have to agree.
I figured once you strapped in, you were never getting out, so it didn't matter.
Oh, well, yeah.
I'm just picturing you driving to work, like driving in the building and pulling up to your desk, and like you have a desk that comes out where you can get to your laptop.
I'm working from the parking lot today.
Drive home, drive into your house, pull into the man cave, grab the Xbox controller. Like it is just, remember that episode of Top Gear where he's in the
little mini car, or whatever it was?
The P50, was that what it was?
Yes.
And he's like driving into work. He's going into the elevator with it, and he's in a meeting.
He's asking people to push him out of the elevator
because it has no reverse.
Yes.
Yeah, I pictured you like that with your X3, like once you got one, just everywhere.
I would like to. That would be fun. No. There's our what would we upgrade on the X3?
Also, I thought that when you guys do the gift ideas, have links to the items, which actually we did. We followed through on that. And he says, yes, I did listen to the end.
Yep.
So people are making it for the full poll. You know what I find is funny is we were worried about filling a half hour, and then we went to an hour and found out it's actually kind of easy to fill an hour if you just babble like we do.
Yeah.
And we haven't kept it to an hour yet. Everyone's been like an hour 9, hour 7.
And then we're still like, well, we need to wrap this up at the end. Yeah.
And then it's another 10 minutes. Yeah. It's like that person you can't get out of your house.
Yes, it is.
And now we're in
Your houses.
literally dozens of houses, maybe.
Yeah.
We were looking at, we talked last show a little bit about
Yeah.
bandwidth usage. And during the month of November, we were up to 4.3 gigs
Yeah.
up from like a gig in September and a couple hundred megs in, August.
Yep.
We are already at 5.35 this month, and we haven't even dropped this podcast yet, and people haven't had time to be bored over Christmas yet. I mean, we're probably going to touch 7.5 gigs this month, which is a 7-fold increase basically from September.
Yeah. So, hey, congrats to all of you.
For
Welcome.
toughing it out.
Yeah. Apparently we're semi-entertaining. I don't know.
This one might be a little shorter because I don't know. We'll just see how long.
I don't know. We've already rambled for 20 minutes.
I'm not going to stretch it out, though. Like,
No.
if it ends at 45, then that's where we landed.
Right.
So, Christmas ideas for the UTV lover in your life. And it's kind of close to Christmas already. So these are last minute. If you just have not been able to get out or maybe you're stumped on ideas, you're going to hear about these Friday morning. And if you ship them overnight, you can probably still get them in time for Christmas, or maybe do that belated Christmas thing.
I ordered it. It just didn't come in. We're blaming FedEx or whatever.
So we're going to put links to this in the YouTube as well, or in the YouTube version of the show. And we'll put them on the Facebook page as well, because it's going to be kind of hard on the podcast to put them in the description and have it be meaningful. So we'll throw them up there on the Facebook page as well. So I'm going to go first. I actually did some homework and prep this time.
Yeah, normally I put the list together and I throw it up there, I don't know, a day or two before the day of the podcast that we record. And I'm like, hey, Doug, look at this, because we're going to have to talk about it tonight. And he's like, yeah, okay. And I don't know if he actually does.
And then half the time I show up, I'm like, I didn't look at any of that. What are we talking about?
But this time, Doug actually put together some of the list.
I'm trying to be better about stuff like that, because in fairness to me, I like computers from the standpoint of doing stuff with them. It sounds funny, but I don't like getting information from them. I hate social media. I don't like looking at documents on them. I don't know. It's really, really hard for me to be excited about that stuff. So I know I need to. I basically glance over it. I always act like I don't look at it. I do look through it. And if I see something I really genuinely don't know about, I will do a little research. So
I even put links in it for him. It's like, if you don't know, click the link, learn a little bit.
But he's like, oh, I was in this group and I was talking to this guy, and I love talking to people like this one-on-one. I love meeting people face-to-face. And so it would seem natural that I would like social media. I hate it. It drives me up the wall.
See, I'm kind of the exact opposite. That's the funny thing. Like, I don't like people. I genuinely don't want to really go talk to people. And I don't mean on like a one-to-one basis. I don't like crowds. I just don't want to deal with a lot of it, because people come with drama and whatever, there's whole stories to that. But I like social media because it's like, hey, look, it's people-esque interaction, and I can talk to you, but if I don't want to, I just close that window.
I can't do it. I mean, I can. I just kind of have to force myself to keep up with EP stuff. I'm like, I need to make sure I'm semi-present, but I'm okay with you being the online face of things. That's fine.
I'm good with that.
This is why we work well together, because we cover the stuff the other person doesn't want to do. So the first thing on my list is the Cyclone LED light. It's not a real exciting or really even UTV specific type of device. It's basically a LED donut is the best way to describe it.
A LED donut.
It's only about, I think it's like 2.5 inches. It's not very big, but it puts out like 500 lumens or something. Like it's pretty bright.
Yeah.
But you can use it almost anywhere. Like if you want to screw it to the center hub of your wheels and have light up wheels because they come in like 5 different colors, you can do that.
So it's battery operated then?
Battery operated.
Okay.
So you can put it in an engine bay. You can put it anywhere on your UTV where you need extra light, but you don't want something that takes up a lot of space or a flashlight that you have to like fumble around in the glove box for. So think of it like one of these stick-up closet lights, but it's waterproof, rugged. It's made by KC.
Yeah.
So it's designed to be wet. It's designed to be outdoors, and anywhere you can just think of, like maybe you've got a toolbox in the bed and you always need light above it, just stick it there. So it's kind of a nice little multi-purpose thing that would be very useful off-road in a lot of situations.
Especially for like a dome light in a UTV, because they don't have that. And if you guys, I tend to not do a lot of night riding. But yeah, I mean, if you're in a UTV at night, a dome light would be an amazing thing to have. And something like that sounds like it would work well.
Yeah. So that's, I tried to get kind of a range of gifts here price-wise. So that would be a good, like a stocking stuffer because it's not hyper expensive.
Okay.
Another one I've got on here that you could reproduce this yourself for any make and model. The one we're going to link to is specifically for the Razors, but it's a high beam relay. Okay. So basically what it does for you, you've got a big light bar on the top. You typically only want that on if you've got your high beams on because you need more light. So what this does for you is the dinky little switch on your dash that will not handle the current for a big light bar. It allows you to wire it in such a way that you turn that on, your high beams come on, and the light bar comes on at the same time.
Yep. I've made something like that for side-by-sides that I've had in the past.
So that being said, this thing's really spendy. It's like $60. I know I could make one of these myself for less than $6 easily.
Yeah. But if you're not an electrical person and you just want plug and play.
Yeah, if you're not super techie, and they make it for the Razors because there's so many of them out there.
Right.
This is plug and play. Like it matches the factory harness. You basically just plug the sucker in. The only wiring you have to do is the 2 leads that go to your light bar, and that's it.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good idea because not everybody who rides these is super technically savvy. They just like to ride. And if you just need something, like you said, that plug in and go, that's a really handy addition.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Another one I liked are the Dragonfire Defender SS mirrors. Okay. So they're side view mirrors. They're almost perfectly round, but they got these big, beefy like billet hinges. And so you can fold them in. They have the detents in them where they snap out, they snap in. So you get in a narrow spot, you can fold them in, but they're super rugged.
Or let the tree push them in.
Because you're not supposed to have your hands outside the cage anyway. So they're really rugged, and the back of them is bowl-shaped so that the tree can push them in. Like you said, they'll just kind of snap in out of the way. Again, if you need good side mirrors, the clamp that clamps them actually to like your roll cage is tremendously beefy. It's actually like one of the roll cage style clamps, like where you put two pieces of it together.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Like the whole thing is really solidly built. If you ripped one off, I would like to know how.
Yeah. The cage is laying back there with it.
Yeah, exactly. So if you need mirrors on the side, which a lot of trail riding would be nice to have them, they're compact, but give you a good field of view, and they're going to take some abuse.
What was the pricing on something like that, or roughly?
I believe these were like in the $180 range.
Okay. So it's getting up there, but I mean, if you need something like that, you probably have already put a majority of your stuff on that you actually want. So,
and for a good like custom, I mean, basically a custom made one-off type of thing. I mean, they're obviously not one-off, but it's a custom thing that they're making there. It's not just a plastic blow molded mirror that anybody could throw on there. They're pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Last thing I had was the rigid LED grills. So it's not rigid like the tool company.
Yeah.
They do have the same name, but they are basically expanded metal grills. They make them for Chevy, Ford, Toyota, basically all the major makes of trucks out there, and they make them for a lot of the different Polaris UTVs. So not just like the Razor 1000s, they also make them for Rangers and pretty much the bulk of the Polaris line.
Okay.
So they're a really heavy-duty expanded metal grill. They basically will keep sticks and other sharp, pokey objects from going through your radiator, so it adds a lot of protection.
Yeah.
But they have a specific cutout in them for an LED light bar as well. So if you're looking to add, kind of your 12-inch style light bar, it's already built in, ready to go. It's a bolt-on fit. They look really, really nice. Like, I really like the way they've designed them. They definitely give it kind of a tougher look, but without being really ostentatious or in your face. Like, they're just a really nice product, a little spendy. But anytime you get into stuff like that, it's
going to be. Yeah,
that's what it is. So those were some like cheap to expensive gift ideas.
Okay. I'll talk about the ones I added, because we both added about the same number of them. I did notice, though, that the things I picked were more function, and the things you picked were more form. It doesn't matter. I did notice that, and I thought that was kind of interesting, But that's how I am, too. I'm like, I don't, who cares what it looks like? If it works and it's strong, that's good.
I don't know that I specifically had this in mind when I picked them, but in the back of my mind, I just kind of knew it was going to be different than what you were going to pick.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, that's what makes it good. So I'm going to start with the same thing I said about the X3 harnesses. In my opinion, and many others' opinion, the factory seatbelts that come in any machine, and I don't care what brand it is, do not suffice. For the speeds that these machines run, they just don't work well, and I've seen so many of them get clogged up with mud in the retraction device that they no longer retract or stop a person in the event of something happening. So harnesses, and everyone kind of has their favorite brand, but my favorite brand has always been the
whatever's on sale brand?
No, the Pro Armors. I like the Pro Armor, 3-inch
nice.
wide. They have a nice pad. They have some little pockets in the pads, and they're that quick release style, like what I was talking about. And for us, especially racing, I mean, if something goes really wrong, and you need out of that thing now, like now, you pull that, it's just a big red piece of strap, and you pull that red piece of strap and the whole buckles just fly apart. I mean, you're out quick at that point.
Yeah.
And that's what we have in our race buggy, and Doug's worn them, and they're comfortable. They do well. Those are my favorite ones. And for me, I'll say there's other brands that have this also, but I have to get one with a chest buckle. I hate the ones that do not have it.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
They'll end up rolling off your shoulder in one way or another, and then they're just not in position. It just goes back to, like we talked about with helmets, fitment. So those are, what are they? I'm going to say, if I'm remembering right, they're around $100 a piece. So if you have a two-seater, you're going to be about $200 in for a set of harnesses. But that's safety equipment, and it's something that I think everybody should upgrade to. So I'm going to say harnesses on that. Now, fire extinguisher. And this is not a dig at Polaris at all.
I was really curious why this was on the list. I won't lie.
No, fire extinguisher, because...
Well, I mean, I understand why, but
Because fires.
Because fires, yeah.
But...
bucket o' sand.
Well, the problem is, I mean, do you have a bucket? And are you near sand?
No, you just carry a bucket of sand around with you at all times. Come on, man.
No, most of the time everybody's riding. Obviously, we're not riding near a water source necessarily. I mean, there may be a creek that you run through, but if something happens, the little 2-pound fire extinguishers are kind of what come on most of them.
Yeah.
They're great if you get to it early. If
things happen fast in a UTV fire.
Oh yeah. I mean, and once it's been 60 seconds maybe or something like that. So if like you're relying on your buddy who's, a half mile back from you or who's riding in the same group he's got a fire extinguisher, I'm fine. By the time he gets to where you are and gets it out and everything, it's probably too late.
Yeah. Completely agree.
So having one on your machine, now I fully recommend getting a good mount for it, and the mount is what really costs the money. It's not the fire extinguisher, because you can go to Rural King or Walmart or any place, and you can get a little 2-pound fire extinguisher, and they're $20 thereabouts, $25, something like that. It's really the mount that costs the money. And there's mounts. The one that we'll link here is made by Tusk, and I can't remember if it comes with the fire extinguisher or not, but it's right at $100, just under, for the mount and everything, and it's a quick release mount and all that. There's canvas ones, which that's what we run on the race buggy, is just a canvas one that Velcro straps in there and everything, and it does fine. I've never had it move at all.
I ripped the rear wheel off of the buggy, and the fire extinguisher is still right where we left it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not saying you need to spend a ton. If your budget is, I think the canvas one I bought was $15 or $20.
Yeah, not bad.
And now that did not come with the fire extinguisher. So, all in, I was in at $40 or something. But it's something that I think everybody needs to look at having.
Yeah.
So, that's my second one. Now, the next thing is not, it's function, but it's definitely a high dollar add-on.
Breaker.
Yeah. A CB or intercom system. Go ahead.
Okay, now which one? Because they serve vastly different purposes.
No, I know that. I'm saying it depends on how you ride and who you ride with as to which one you would want to get. Like me, I ride by myself normally, except for when we race. Like I normally don't have people in the buggy with me, so I don't need an intercom. I don't need to talk to the person beside me because there's no one there. But a CB or radio out to other buggies, it saves people from getting lost all the time, especially when in a big group. So now those can get spendy. The link we're going to have is to Rugged Radios. They make good stuff, but it is pricey. That's what we run in our race buggy. It's done really well for us. I was actually, when I put it in, I tested it. I was like, I don't know about this, and then we started using it, and I was, okay, it works really well. It surprised me. Now, like I said, they're spendy. Rugged Radios, it is not uncommon at all for every cable to cost you $50.
That's really the kick in the teeth. The radio itself is, it's semi-expensive. It's not eye-wateringly so, but where they get you is the
cables.
Every time you need a cable, it's $50-$60.
Yeah. But they make solid stuff, so I don't know of any other company out there that I could say that. And I even talked to a few radio manufacturers at PRI when we were there, and I was like, is it waterproof? And they're like, no. I'm like, doesn't work for us then.
Yeah. We discovered early on that every time we went through a creek bed, the intercom got wet and it would just hum at us. Just start screeching and humming. And
I knew exactly what it was, though. It was the back of the plug.
Yep.
And it would get wet, and then it would cross those out and short it and just hum in my ears.
And now a radio system and an intercom aren't necessarily mutually exclusive either, because they do make tie-ins where if you have a trail radio, you can actually tie it to your intercom system. And as you two are talking, it's transmitting, and then if you want to have it set up on Vox, or you can have it set up on push button, but then you both can also hear what's coming in over the radio. So the two aren't necessarily mutually exclusive either. It just depends on how much money you want to shell out.
And Rugged Radio does have a system where you can, we'll say you want to buy the intercom system first, so you can talk to your passengers. It's a module all in and of itself, and then you want to go the CB route, it's another module, and you can add that, or with a nice display and nice tunability on it and everything else. Or you can get just one that just plugs in like a little Motorola or cheap Chinese knockoff version of, you can plug it right into that intercom and you can go out. Now, you lose some functionality in there, but it will do it. So I'm saying that's something that it'd make a nice Christmas gift for someone.
The last one, man, you saved the best for last. I know how excited I'd be.
A spare belt. You say that.
I know they're not cheap. I get it.
They're not cheap. Really.
We found out the hard way going cheap on them doesn't save you anything.
We tried to go with, So we went with a cheaper belt at the beginning of the season.
It was like, what, 140 instead of 200 or something like that?
It was cheaper than that. It was right around $100 for that belt.
But normally a belt was, what, like a good Gates belt was how much?
They're around $150 generally.
Okay. So, it was, cheaper.
So we tried that belt, one race. I chewed that belt up in one race, and it was done, like pitching cords out, done.
And actually, had we, I think that was one of the races we didn't finish.
No, we finished that first race.
Was it the first one we went on that belt? Okay. Yeah. It was done.
It was done. And then I went to a nicer belt. Now, I was talking to another guy today, Joey, from down there at Twisted V Motorsports in Texas. And we were talking, and 50 miles on a race buggy is like 1,000 miles on normal trail riding.
Sure.
It's just not the same. It's just, we're hard on them. Everything is full on or full off, brakes and everything. So we ran the rest of the season and only had to change the belt right at the end because it was, and I mean, we could have made it, but it was getting to where it was wearing and it was getting hot and everything else. So a spare belt is very nice, especially if you're going to travel to go ride somewhere, because you blow that belt and you got, a day or two left of riding. You're now just throwing away those couple days of your free time that you could have gone and ridden, but now you have a spare belt, you can pitch it on there, and you're good to go again.
There you go, folks. That is your UTV lovers Christmas wish list. It's worth everything you just paid for it. I'll qualify it that way. But I actually think there's some legitimate good ideas on there.
Yep.
There's stuff I wouldn't mind getting, so that was kind of the measuring stick.
Yep. Okay.
So what are we going to be doing for Christmas? Where are you going to be bah humbugging?
I'm going to be right here.
Are you going to midnight
No.
breakfast?
No, I'm not going to midnight breakfast.
What about second breakfast?
In the next morning?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go to that.
Okay.
Because that's fine. It's Christmas morning thing. That's normal.
Sure.
I'll do that. But for the most part, nope, I'm not going anywhere. I still have not fixed the side-by-side from the last race, but I got all the parts in finally, so that's kind of one of my goals in my time off over the holidays is to fix that.
Such a good friend. I torched that thing. I'm not even going to be in town, and you're going to be fixing it.
Thanks, Doug. Once again, we go back to your original statement. I'll be around more to help.
Just wait till I come back then. It's not like it's going anywhere.
I could.
We're not going to even run the thing for a few months.
Well, I'll drive it around, though.
I mean, I would like to get it back together because I want to get some wheel time in.
Yeah.
But.
So, I'm really not going anywhere. I still got the family body shop, and it seems like every time I have a day off, I end up working over there.
You don't have days off. You just get sucked into other things.
I have
You're
days
like me.
working elsewhere.
Yeah.
That's what I do. So that's all I'm really doing. I'm not doing a whole lot.
We're just heading up north. As we've said before, my family and Jenny's family both live up there, so we're going to do the whole get torn to pieces over the holidays thing.
Yep.
Where, we have to be at this family at this time, and then we have to be here at this time. We have to be there at that time, and it's a whirlwind, and it's really good to see everybody. And then I come back and wish I would have taken an extra day off to recover from all the fun.
Yep.
So that's us.
I get to recover till the new year.
Yeah, that's the real bad thing about this current job. I actually get decent time off, but I started the counter at 0. I had to earn time as I went. And so I've only been there, I guess this is my fourth month.
Yeah.
I think my last paycheck is of the year, I think is December 30th or 31st. It falls right on the last part of the year. So I earn 4 hours per pay period right now. So I think when my last paycheck hits, I'll have 40 hours. So I'll have a full week.
Okay.
So in theory, I could start taking time off, but the reality is I'm so stinking busy. I don't know. I can't go anywhere anyways.
Right.
So I might as well just keep stacking it up because it's, I can store up to 240 hours.
Yeah.
So I might as well just stack up vacation time for, in theory, down the road when we really want to do something or I actually have downtime. So right now I just keep working.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm still the new guy there anyways. I don't want to be the guy who works there for a month and then takes a week off.
Like a guy I talked to you about at my work.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's just not my nature anyways.
No.
So there you go.
That's what we're doing for
the exciting EP Christmas.
Really not anything amazing. Let's see. Oh,
the Grand Tour.
The Grand Tour. We'll go there. For those
We're both big die-hard Top Gear fans.
Yeah, the show formerly known as Top Gear.
The original British series with the original British 3, not the new one, not the...
With Clarkson, May, and Hammond.
Yes, it's not the one with Joey.
Yes.
It's gotten better from what I hear, but
I refuse to watch it.
I haven't had the heart to go back to it.
Nope.
I really wanted to be good because then I thought, okay, they're moving over to the Grand Tour. You know, the Jeremy Clarkson and James May and Richard Hammond, they're all moving over there.
Yep.
So that's going to be good.
Yep.
So if Top Gear somehow finds a way to stay good, then we have 2 good shows.
Right.
It didn't work out.
No, I watched about half or better than the first series of it.
I think you punched out. I think you watched 3 because
Yeah.
I think episode 4 I asked you about, and you're like, I don't care.
Yeah, I gave up on it. It was horrible. So enough of the bad one. I don't care about the bad one.
Have you watched any of it yet?
Of the new series?
Yes, because season 2 just dropped. What was December 8th was the
Yes.
premiere?
I watched episode 1 the day it came out, and I watched episode 2 last night, and then episode 3 drops the Friday when this comes out.
I haven't watched any of it.
I'm not going to ruin any of it for you because I want you to get the full...
Is it better? Now, not that the first season was bad, but I felt like it was a feeling out process of how's the new format going to work and what can we get away with without ticking off the BBC? Because the whole crux of this issue that they had was Clarkson sold the format to the BBC like back in 2013 or 14.
So what is the format, quote unquote?
Yeah, well, like obviously they lost the Stig,
Right.
and they lost the interview section with the celebrity, and they lost some things.
Right.
So they felt like they were kind of tiptoeing around, and I kind of feel like Clarkson and Amazon have the cojones to just say, all right, they didn't sue us last year, so we're just going to push harder this year.
It very much is that way, in my opinion, from the first 2 episodes that I've
Okay.
seen. They do not appear to be tiptoeing around anymore. It very much feels like the original Top Gear.
Okay.
If you didn't know that the name was different, you would think it was the same.
Okay.
I'm
I'm not
was
gonna lie.
much better done.
I'm saving it.
Okay.
Because again, I'm not trying to like, oh, woe is me. I'm just busy. I'm just being pointed at, and I don't want any sympathy from anybody. I just have a lot on my plate right now.
I don't feel bad for you.
And I don't want. You've never felt bad for anyone.
Nope.
That's saying nothing. Should see him like pushing little kids off their quads during the race. Ha!
I don't do well. The Red Cross did call when we were getting set up. So
This is so Chad.
So the Red Cross calls me, and I've given blood before, but honestly, I don't have time. I don't live near any Red Cross things, so it's not like it's super convenient for me. They call and they're giving me this, reading the spiel off their computer thing,
Yeah.
and blah blah blah. We're in need of blood for this, and I just nope, not interested. I'm using all my blood right now, and I hung up.
I'm going to actually break character here for a minute and let you know that Chad would come pick you up on the side of the road at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah,
and haul your car home and fix it for you. Like he's that kind of guy.
I just don't want to be bothered by people that I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, leave me alone. You don't know me.
He's
I
on.
don't know
He's
you.
actually okay. My phone goes to like completely silent at 10 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Like I don't care if the Pope's calling. I'm not finding out about till tomorrow.
Yep.
So I have a very short list of people that the phone will actually ring for, and you're on it because you're that person, and I'm going to be that person for you because we're kind of wired the same in that regard.
I appreciate it.
So he can be the gruff guy all he wants. He's a big teddy bear underneath.
Oh no, I will fully admit I will help anyone, and anybody who really knows me personally knows that I would help anyone. I'll give you the shirt off my back. But if you're just some random person calling, leave me alone.
Or if they're like just annoying for no
Yeah.
if they're annoying for any reason, you're done.
Yeah, I mean, be a normal
You have
human.
good boundaries.
Yeah.
Most people don't. You do.
I have good boundaries, and I lack that filter. Like when I've reached my boundary, most people are like, okay, if I just be quiet, it'll be over in a little bit. I'm like, and we're done. I hate you. Go away.
So that was a long way.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
Somehow we got from the Grand Tour to that.
Yeah,
but-
how did we do that?
and I was saying that I don't want your sympathy, and you were saying you weren't giving it to me anyways.
Oh,
Okay,
that's how
so
we got
back to that. I'm using it like a reward system. I want to get to a point where I'm going to enjoy it. Like I could watch it on my phone right now because I have
It's
a phone.
Amazon Video is what it's
I could watch it on my laptop if I want to watch it on a bigger screen. But what I don't want to do is sit on the mattress we were sleeping on is doubling as a couch now because we have a bedroom. So our good mattresses are in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So the crappy mattress we were sleeping on is thrown down in the den as like a makeshift couch.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit with my flooring, what's left of the flooring stacked up over here and the other projects stacked up over here and the packing material for the Eminent Performance stuff over here, sitting on an old mattress, watching it on my laptop. I'm saving it. So it's like motivation. There's certain things I have purposely not watched yet because I want to be in my man cave, in my brand new theater chairs that I bought. Like, I don't want to do what I'm really going to enjoy. I don't want to cheapen the experience.
That is justifiable. And you know what?
I'm waiting.
When you get to that point, and I'm sure I'll be helping you get to that point too also, but I'll come over and we'll watch it as a series again. I'll watch it again. It's great.
Okay, perfect.
So,
and for the record, I am not as much dead weight as he makes it sound like. I'm
No.
actually doing stuff for EP too.
oh no, he is. No, Doug's handling.
You've been helping a lot with the house. It does seem like I'm a total slacker though.
No, you're busy. I get that. So, we're eating up time here. So let's go.
What do you got left we need to get to? Man, that's a quick hour. We're 50 minutes in.
Let's definitely do random trivia with Doug.
Oh, you have some. Oh boy. I'm awake tonight. I'm on it.
This is one of those things that I'm like, man, I get so many stinking Facebook messages. Why?
People want to know stuff.
I don't like people. We've gone over this.
That's why they're on social media. They know better than to call you. You'll just hang up on them.
Yeah. So, the random trivia with Doug is one of those things that, like, when I'm preparing the list, I'm like, yeah, I get to go find trivia for Doug. So,
what's amazed me is the amount of stuff I do know and the weird gaps I have in my knowledge.
now I purposefully tried to leave animal ones out for you this time.
Okay, good.
There's one that's kind of, whatever. It's got animal in it, but it's not like about the animal.
I'm okay.
So.
It's broad range trivia. I'm okay with that.
Okay. So question number 1. The spray WD-40. And I like this one because every UTV guy like uses something similar to WD-40 or that. But the spray WD-40 is often used to help cars start, free locks, loosen things. What does the WD stand for in WD-40?
The WD stands for water displacement, and the 40 stands for the rough amount of tries it took him to get the formula right.
This says water dispersant.
Okay, that's, yeah.
Close enough. I'll give you that one. It's close enough. The average American does this 2.2 times per week.
That could go so many
wrong ways.
The average American does this 2.2 times per week. Okay, well, you eat every day.
I would hope.
I would hope. Oh, yeah, this wasn't the average Lithuanian.
No.
Okay. Man, I'm trying everything I'm kind of coming up with is daily.
There could be a broad thing.
I know I want to get this right, though. I want to act like I've thought this through. I don't know. I'm going to go with kind of an innocuous one. I don't know. Fills their car up with gas.
Goes to the supermarket.
2.2 times a week?
Yeah.
I'd murder someone.
Oh.
It's terrible if I have to go once a week.
I don't go. Brent, my wife, she won't let me go.
As much as I have told, we just talked about I like people. I don't like people in supermarkets.
Oh no, I get supermarket rage because there's these old women like pushing the cart one direction and looking the complete opposite. I just want to ram them, take them out at the ankles.
We are below average, as though you didn't already know that.
Well, but I think I live further out in the country than you do. You just plan your trips. I mean, you go and you buy a lot of things, and so I don't go. My wife, I haven't been to the supermarket in a long time. She doesn't let me go because she's like...
You're also a really indiscriminate spender.
Oh, I am.
You would triple the budget.
Oh, I would. My wife yells at me, "Why'd you buy that? That's the expensive brand." Doug, you've shopped with me.
I'm cheap.
Yeah.
I really am kind of a tightwad in some areas. And so we go shopping for like stocking up for a race weekend.
Yeah.
And Chad's just grabbing stuff. I'm like, but that one over there is like, the cost per whatever is less. And he's like, I don't care. And he's just throwing stuff in the cart.
I have the mindset of the time it takes me to figure that out and look at it and compare the two, not worth it, moving on. So that's how my mind works. Don't care, it's like $1, you know.
Yeah.
I don't care about the dollar, so whatever.
When you've been like ingrained for years, it's hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
All right.
49% of Americans go out to dinner on what day? It's not like a day of the week. It's a...
Oh.
Because I thought
I'm going to go... I was going to say...
Wednesday.
I'm going to go with like Valentine's Day.
Their birthday.
I could see that. Makes sense.
I would say more than 49% go out on Valentine's Day.
I don't know. There's a lot of homely single people out there. But
see, now from...
But yeah, I was trying to think of big dinner. But yeah, birthday makes sense.
Yep. 2 out of 3 visits to an American doctor are for what kind of problems? Like, what's it have to do with?
Like major organ or like I don't know.
It's like a category of, you know.
I don't know. I would have to think like aches and pains or something like that.
Stress related.
Really?
Yeah.
That's disturbingly high.
I agree.
I think some people are just naturally equipped to handle stress. Like I'm one of them. I get stressed from time to time. You've seen it, but in general, I'm pretty unflappable. Like things just don't tend to bother me that much.
Yeah. I'm the same way.
It'll work out however it works out. And sometimes you just got to ride the bull till it throws you, but it'll work.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same way. I'm just like,
that many people are stressed out?
I guess.
I would have figured just like general aches and pain. A lot of people go to the doctor when something hurts.
I stubbed my toe. I need to go to the doctor. Yeah. Nope.
Wow. Y'all need to like drink a beer and chill out.
Calm down.
Everybody out there, 2/3 of you out there need to chill out.
Okay. 67% of dog owners do what? I don't know why I picked all these percentage things. Don't ask me.
These are really hard.
67% of dog owners do what at the holiday times?
Kick them. No, I would say buy them gifts.
Buy a present for a dog.
Jenny does that for our dogs.
I figured.
She's like, I didn't shop for the dogs yet. I'm like, they don't care. I mean, if you find something, fine. But
if when I go to Rural King, because I like going to Rural King, it's one of my
I love
favorite
Rural
stores.
King.
I don't even have a dog anymore. My last dog died several years ago, and currently just like the busyness of my life, and I have to drive a lot to get to work and back, and the kids are in sports and everything else. I just don't have a dog. But I'll go to Rural King and I'll get my brother's dog something even.
Our dogs last year, Jenny bought them like these really nice toys, and she bought them like 2 or 3 things each. I mean, they weren't super spendy, you know.
Yeah.
It's like dog toys, like $3,
Right?
Because Amy especially likes things she can shred.
Yeah.
So Jenny tends to buy her like the rope toys, which are really cheap, and she loves them because she just sits there and just shreds them, just goes through them. So Jenny buys them this stuff. They're chewing on the packaging. Within 20 minutes, like we all got done opening presents and we're like, where are the dogs? And we look around and they're over there like just eating packaging. Their toys are laying there totally neglected.
That's kind of how it is. Kids and dogs, same thing.
Yeah, no, I can totally see that.
What does the ringing of 8 bells mean on board a ship?
I have no idea.
End of watch. It's time to switch watch.
That's 8 bells, huh?
8 bells. I didn't know that either.
I figured it'd be like 1 ding, get off the ship.
Yeah.
Okay, 8 bells. Now I know.
This one is like, it's a long question, so
Oh, boy.
I find it kind of funny. What was the average yearly salary of an American public school teacher at the turn of the century?
I'm assuming you mean the 1900s into the 2000s, or like 1900, 1901, or are we talking like 2000, 2001? Like which,
no, it was
turn of which century?
1900 to
okay.
the 2000s. Or I'm sorry, the 1800s to
1900s, yeah.
Yeah, not into 2000s. No.
Okay, because I was going to say, I probably know that one because I worked at a school around that time.
Right. No, the previous century.
Well, Ford introduced the $5 day like in the teens.
But that was making good money.
And that was a big deal. So I'm going to say they made like 50 cents a day.
Well, this is yearly, so you have to
Oh.
calculate it out. Just pick a number. I don't do math. I'm like
Okay, well, 50 cents a day yearly would be like $180 a year.
$325.
So they made like $1 a day,
Yeah.
give or take. I mean, they didn't work every day. Yeah, it works out about right.
Yeah,
So
about $1 a day.
I was really cheap. I shortchanged him.
Teachers aren't worth anything in Doug's opinion.
Well, I was trying to think if the $5 a day was really good money, and that was almost 20 years later, and teachers never get paid crap, so I went really low.
I think teachers got paid more comparatively then, though,
Probably.
than they do now.
Still $1 a day, man.
Yeah. Well, what did things cost? I mean, next to nothing.
Yeah. I
Probably
guess
like
it.
people for a couple cents. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I'll buy it $1 a day.
That's what it's telling me. Okay. Up until the building of the Eiffel Tower, which old structure was the tallest in the world? So not like modern skyscrapers, older structures like that.
I'm gonna say it was the Great Pyramid.
Yes, you are correct.
I knew it was up there.
Yep. Okay, Ronald McDonald of the McDonald's Food Company
Okay.
is worldwide except in Japan. What is he called there? And it's not some Japanese word, it's English.
Oh. Captain Hamburger.
Nope, Donald McDonald.
Why is he called Donald?
I don't know. I was like, why wouldn't they just call him Ron? They don't say ours.
I was really trying to avoid that.
That just hit me. They don't say ours.
I was trying to really sidestep that because it's a dialect thing, not because we were making fun of them.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Last one. How many push-ups do female recruits have to do in 2 minutes to pass in the U.S. Army basic training, and how many do their male counterparts have to do?
They haven't equalized that?
This leads into a discussion point afterwards. That's why I put it last.
Ooh. I'm going to say in 2 minutes, women have to do 25, men have to do 40.
You got the men one right. 17 for the women.
What? It's less than half?
Yeah. Now,
Are the women doing full push-ups like on their toes, or are these like the girl push-ups?
no, they have to do full.
Okay, because
full
remember in
push-up.
school, the girls
Yeah.
got to do them from their knees. It was kind of a joke.
Yeah.
It's like you could do 18 million of those.
Yes.
Okay.
So that leads to my point of discussion, and it's going to be a short one. But I was like, the same thing you were thinking. Why shouldn't they have to do the same number? If equal rights and women are equal and everything else.
I don't. Oh, this could be a really long discussion and kind of really. I mean, we go off topic a lot. This is really off, but I will say that women's rights has less to do with saying that we are physically equal to we deserve equal opportunity to do X, Y, or Z. Now, I know what you're thinking. If they're not physically capable, should they be allowed in combat? And that is the crux of this discussion.
Or I'm not saying not as physically capable.
Yeah. Okay. That is an important distinction, and it was what I was thinking in my mind, and it didn't make it out my mouth. Yeah.
So,
It's an interesting one
yep.
because I'm a big proponent of. I mean, and you've heard me say a lot of this stuff. I love it when women do well at things. Like I'm always rooting. I'm not a feminist because I can't be one but I have a daughter who I want to see have equal opportunities to do things. I've never told her that she can't or shouldn't do something because she's a girl. I have a wife who I think should get the same pay for doing the same job that a man does. And in her field, she does, because the schools are like, they don't pay anybody well.
Yeah.
Here you go. I love it in the races. When when I was doing the announcing, I loved it when a girl got out there and just kicked those boys' butts, just showed them how it was done.
Now, see, I'll add to that. I think it is bull that they have a separate girls class in the racing thing. 99% of that is the machine. And the women can train and get as strong to ride equally as hard as any guy out there.
Then why aren't the girls, if it's the machine, then why aren't they at the top?
I personally, from what I've seen of a majority of them, now there are others, they don't put in the time outside of the racing to do it.
There are some that do. It's tough to say reasons why. I think I think it's a little more physically rigorous than you're giving it credit for.
But I know it. I know it's a rigorous sport and everything else. I'm not doubting that.
I think there's a class because it's for the same reason that there are different classes for the men as well. Like if you...
Oh, I'm not saying throw them into the pro row.
If you want to compete against other women, there's a class to do that. If you don't, you can enter and ride. You don't have to be in the women's class. It's just an option.
Okay.
It's no different than being like, I don't think I'm ready for row 1. I'm going to be in row 3.
Right.
I just think if you want to compete against women, that's your option to do so. So they make one because women have asked for that. But that being said, there are women who compete in the other classes and do very well.
Right.
In the youth, Julia O'Neill.
Yeah.
Man, when she's having a good day and her equipment's holding up, I mean, she had a couple bum ones where she, basically got in a bad situation, fell off, broke her arm, and she had another one where the machine let her down and yada, yada, yada. But when she had put together a good day, man, she's scary good. I mean, she's kicking boys' butts, and I love to see that. So I'm okay with... Women are built differently, and I think that is a nod to that. That it's not saying that even that a woman would be less effective in combat because she doesn't have the upper body strength. Would she have trouble doing certain things? Sure, but I think it's hard to say that because she doesn't have the same upper body strength, she wouldn't be effective in combat. There's too many tentacles there. But
I agree,
but the disparity surprised me.
Yeah,
that's a big gap.
Yep. So, well, we'll get off that topic. But
so we weren't trying to fill an hour. We more than filled an hour. Once again, thanks for hanging around.
Yeah.
Real quick, I do want to say you can find us on the web at eminentperformance.com. You can find us on Facebook /Eminent Racing. You can find us on Instagram at Eminent Racing. I want to say a big thank you, as always, to Watch Communications for hosting the podcast and for hosting the website as well. Thank you also to TGM Off-Road, UTV-doors.com, and to Colby Valve Stems. We here at Eminent Performance once again want to wish you a very Merry Christmas. You've made this podcast what it is by your feedback, and we want more of that in the new year. So if you have one New Year's resolution, it's give us more feedback, get more involved in the podcast. This show is going to be largely what we babble about, but there is a good percentage of that is based on what you guys want to hear about. So thank you so much for your feedback we've gotten so far. We really hope that you guys have a blessed new year coming up, and we're going to take a little break, but we'll be back after January 1st with more senseless rambling and potentially politically minefield-laden subjects.
Yep. We'll wade into anything. So.
We've proven we're not afraid and we're stupid, which is a really bad combo.
Agreed.
All right, everybody. Thanks for riding along.
Thanks, guys.
Tired of going down, tired of myself, tired of this town.